Welcome to another edition of Interruptions. I'm your host, Otis Smith. Today we have, I call, an American treasure. My next guest is a singer, an actress. She did hits like Love Letter. You've seen her on television shows like Little House on the Prairie. You've seen her on Sanford and Son, Blackula. She is just one of a kind, just such a beautiful person, a beautiful soul. I'm talking no other than Miss Ketty Lester. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine, and I thank you so much for talking with me.
No, thank you. I've always wanted to talk to you ever since I saw you on Little House on the Prairie. That's why I first saw you.
Well, that's good. Well, I love being on that show. I love the children.
My first question for you is just simply, how did you push through racism when you first started in the time frame that you were coming through dealing with the different challenges of racism? How did you get through that and go on to pursue your
You
career?
know, I really don't understand. It just had to be God
Mm,
because I'm from Arkansas, and
yes,
I
ma'am.
am the great granddaughter of a slave.
Mm,
And I know who he is. I've seen this picture, and I have this picture, and my mother, he's my mother's father.
mm-hmm.
So when I left Arkansas, my brother came and got us and took us to San Francisco. So I managed to I was going to be a nurse,
Right.
but we are not always cut out to be what we want to be. you
Ain't that the
know.
truth? Ain't that the truth?
So I didn't finish my nursing, but I had to go to work, and the only job I could get
Mm-hmm.
was singing. So I started singing, and the two people that I worked with first was Maya Angelou
Yes.
and Phyllis Diller.
Wow.
So we worked at the Purple Onion for about a year,
Okay.
and together it was a pleasure for me to be with them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did. Maya had said she was from Jamaica, but come to find out, when I met her, I said I got to meet this woman. She's from a foreign country, and I was excited about this with somebody from a foreign country.
Right.
And then she laughed at me and said, "I'm from the same state you from." I said, "No, you're from Jamaica." She had said she was from Jamaica. And I didn't know no better. It was just one of those things that happens.
That's funny because I'm
And
scheduled to go to Jamaica.
you are?
Yes, in February.
Well, in February. Well,
Yes.
that's good. That's
And
wonderful. You're going to Jamaica, and, well, I guess that's something special for me because you're going to Jamaica next year.
yeah,
You say
I'm going February of next year.
that's good. I have a good friend that I just talked to, and she's from Jamaica. She's the sweetest woman, and she worked for my husband
Okay.
in the business.
Okay.
So I'm just glad to be with her.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it's a pleasure to have been with her all these years.
Yes. With were you aware of the barriers you were breaking when you did Julia with Diane Carroll? Were you aware of what you guys were embarking, being the first African American women
Yes,
to star on
yes,
television?
I knew. Yes, I did. But I was proud of that. And I was a little bit shocked because
Hmm.
I had never done that before. I had never played, uh, been to the foreign countries before.
Hmm.
So it was kind of a shock to me. But I'm a person that I just keep right on going.
Okay.
I don't care what it is. I keep right on fighting and keep right on going.
Hmm.
And that was it with me. Uh, I was with Love Letters. I was with, and it was a pleasure to be there with uh, Maya. Maya was something new for me,
Okay.
and she was just a good friend to me. She knew I didn't know nothing, you know,
But she
but
helped you.
Maya, she helped me, and that was a good thing for me. And we stayed friends for about 2 years. We played at the Purple Onion for about a year, she and Phyllis Dillon. And we didn't have many women comics back in those days.
Correct.
I would say Phyllis was one of the first.
Wow.
And she opened the same night I did
Okay.
at the Purple Onion. So we played together, the three of us,
Okay.
with the three women at the Purple Onion for a year. And then they opened a Purple Onion down in Los Angeles. And they put me in this Purple Onion here
Okay. Okay.
by myself. I didn't really think I was qualified to be a loner, to do
Hmm.
that because the Purple Onion was the first club I ever worked.
Okay. Okay.
And for him to put me in the Purple Onion down here by myself, I was a little bit scared. But they wasn't, and they wanted me to do it. And, well, if they wanted, that's what I did. And I got a chance to
Uh-huh.
meet Groucho Marx. He
Oh
would
wow.
come in the Purple Onion to see me all the time. And I was the first black to go on TV. We wasn't on TV then.
Correct.
But Groucho put me on his show, so I was the first black to go on television.
Wow.
And I was lucky, you know, I was lucky to be the first in that. And I stayed in that club for about 1 or 2 years. And then after he had me on the show and the club closed, I started working at a club in Beverly Hills.
Okay.
It was called the Ye Little Club. And of course, that's where all of the big white singers would be. I was always
Okay.
sort of out of my class. I never got a chance to be with my own people because the people that were black worked on Central Avenue.
Okay.
I was in Beverly Hills. So I never got a chance to meet anybody, but I did meet Rosemary Clooney and all those white singers, and
Okay.
they were very kind to me, very nice to me.
Okay.
In fact, Dorothy Shea took me on as her protege.
Doris Day?
Dorothy Shea.
Oh, Dorothy Shea.
She's
Okay.
a hillbilly singer.
Okay.
And she had this song, Shooting, a Fussing, and a Fighting. Now, nobody, the blacks wouldn't know that, but that was a big hit. And she took me to New York for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And Rosemary Clooney, I had met Rosemary Clooney. Rosemary Clooney said, if you ever start recording, and she said, you will, don't go with no company called RCA Victor. I said, I'll remember that.
Okay.
When Dorothy took me to New York, she took me, the first company she took me to was RCA Victor, and that's the worst company in the world to be with.
Okay.
But they said I didn't have a recording voice, and they didn't want me. I said, that's great, because if you'd had said yes, I would have had said no, because Rosemary Clooney had told me not to go with you.
Okay.
And I would have had to tell them I don't want to be with them.
Right.
But they said I didn't have a recorded voice, and I said, that's just fine. I don't want to be with them no way. So we came back, and Dorothy got me on a soap opera. You know, you probably haven't heard of it, but it's still going on. And it's Days of Our Lives.
That's right. Days of Our Lives still going on. You were the first on Days of Our Lives. On a soap opera.
Well, it's a soap opera, yes. Well, I was the first black to be on television, even as an actress. I did that show. I had a family. I had a husband. I had a teenage son and a teenage daughter. And we played on that for about 6 months or something like that. And I was, again, a first to be on TV.
That's amazing.
And I'm grateful for that.
That is amazing. That's just amazing. And because when I think about, it's not that many soap operas still on, and Days of Our Lives is still on, and you were the first African American to be on a daytime soap opera, and first African American with Diane Carroll to be on TV.
Right.
That's amazing. When you let me ask you a question. When you showed up, when I first saw you, because my family, we was gonna watch Little House on the Prairie, and when you came on as Esther Sue on Little House on the Prairie, what was that like for you? Because for me and my family, seeing a representation of ourselves, of black, especially, I forget the actress name, but who played Mrs. Olsen, and she was looking for a white woman to show up, and here you show up, and you just kind of ruined her day. per day. How was that television show for you? Because you got to act also with Moses Gunn.
Oh, yes. But you see, Little House, I got on Little House. Michael Landon
Yes.
was, to me, one of the greatest directors that I've ever been with. Because now, when I met Michael Landon by doing a show, you remember the old, you probably don't remember, but he was one of our first baseball players. He was a catcher, but he played baseball, but he had a car accident and was killed.
Okay.
And they made a story of his life.
Okay.
Well, I played the part of his mother in that show.
Okay.
And Michael Landon was the director. And that's how I met Michael Landon.
Okay.
I also was an epileptic at that time because I had a child. And when I had the baby, I became epileptic.
Okay. Okay.
And we were just talking and talking. It seemed like I just knew him right off the bat. And he was acting like he knew me. And I said, I'm going to tell you something. And I said, I'm epileptic, so if I have a seizure, don't send me to the hospital. And he said, well, what do you want me to do? And I told him what to do. Would you believe I had one?
Oh,
and
wow.
He did exactly what I told him to do. And when I finished the show, I was going home, and he said, no, you're going to stay and lay down and rest a little while until we finish up here. And I did what he said, but then when I said, he said, it's time for us to go home. And he says, do you want to be on Little House? I said, you know my condition, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
I said, so if you naturally, I want to be on it. I said, but you know the way I am, my health and everything. He said, I didn't ask you that. He said, I asked you, do you want to be on Little House? I said, of course I do. And he said, be there Monday. And he told me where to be at MGM Monday at 5:00. And I was there.
Yeah. I'm glad you was on that show because I was able to watch you and to watch and here's the thing, I'm sure you appreciate it, but
oh yes,
I like the part that you played on Little House on the Prairie where you were there to help with the blind school.
Yes.
That was a unique narrative. Yes, that was a unique
something. Yes, I love the children. That was a special thing, but in a sense, you can say I've been lucky all through my career. As far as, when we were playing in the shows, the movies, you couldn't play in the movie if you wasn't a half-breed. That's where Lena Horne, they would take Lena Horne and let her sing in the movies.
Right.
They would take Aunt Jemima because she was fat and
Maid.
She was black.
Yeah.
They would play her for the Maid. And she played that Maid part. She won an Academy Award. Of course, she couldn't go into the place and get it.
Right.
But she won it.
Yeah.
So that was something good right there. But I have never played a maid part or anything like that in my career.
No, you haven't. No, you haven't.
I
Do you
have never played the maid. They
speak?
have always given me good parts.
Yes, yes,
Some
yes.
reason I don't know why. Maybe it's just Beverly Hills. That I was the one in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, well, hey, you know, the Bible says that our footsteps are ordered by God. So,
Yes, yes. So I've been lucky all through my career. Like with Michael, he made me a teacher. He didn't make me anything else. He made me a teacher.
yeah, and that's
When I played,
go ahead.
I just when I played
Hmm.
uh, the Roy Campanella story, I played his mother.
Yes.
When I played in another movie that I did, I played the aunt
Hmm.
of the boy. And then with most of the other plays, the first black movie that we had that was talking about us fighting for our rights
Hmm.
was Uptight.
Yeah.
And it seemed like, if I remember it right, it seemed like we were in a, it was almost like we were in a stadium, like that. And I was sitting on one of the benches. I didn't have a big part in it, but it was talking about fighting for our rights. And I had worked with the Martin Luther King group. I
Okay.
always consider Martin Luther King was the one that got me in the television, because Martin Luther King, after he uh, got our voting rights,
Hmm.
he started with the movie industry and why didn't we have the average black woman on TV? Why
Okay.
do we have to be half white or big and black?
Right.
Why don't you use the average black woman? Well, they, to make him hush, I did the first commercial we ever did.
Wow.
And they told him, in other words, to try to get him to shut up, they said, well, Ketty is on TV. She got a commercial out there. Haven't you seen her commercial? And of course he hadn't seen it, because they don't play it that much. They didn't
Right.
play it but 3 times. But I was the first one to do commercial,
Wow.
black.
Do do you ever feel like your contribution to music and to acting hasn't gotten enough publicity as it should by you being the first African American to do a lot of these things?
Well, no, I haven't. I've got the Black Hollywood group that have the young black producers. They are trying to make young black producers.
Hmm.
They just honored me last week,
Oh, okay.
and it's the girl, another girl that they honor, and she was so grateful to me for what I had done. I didn't even know she knew it, but I'm grateful that I was able to step through that door. No, I didn't make the money that they're making, but I opened a door.
Yes, you did.
Where the black people are able now to be on television, to be on the news, to do the shows that they deserve to be doing. And now we are getting young producers out there where they can be honor themselves by being a producer and producing what they feel that they want to see out there. I got a chance to meet a girl that she just did a small film of our great singer that we had years ago. I can't think of her name now.
But was it? She played a singer.
She was a singer and a great one.
Okay.
That was she was with Martin Luther King in Washington, D.C.
Mahalia
Jackson.
Yeah.
They just did that on Saturday last week. This girl has made a film. It's a short film, but she's made a film about Mahalia Jackson. Who can beat that? I'm glad to see him do it.
Right.
I'm honored that they are able to do it.
Yes.
Yes, I didn't make no big money, but I opened the door.
Yes,
and
you
that's
did.
Something.
Yes, you did. You know reading about you and watching you as a fan and watching you on TV and I love what you did on Sanford and Son. It was so funny to me because you was gonna marry Fred, but you knew Lamont already. So so I love it. They've got to tell your story. Somebody's got to do a movie on you. They
Well,
yes.
I wish they would. I would love to have a movie done. Well, I would love to have a movie done of my life story because my life story is something very special.
I know who can play you too. I already know who can play you. Did you see the story of the Clark sisters?
The Clark sisters?
No, I'm saying, did you see did you see their life story? Did you see their life story?
No.
Okay. Well, the lady, I can't think of her name right now, but the actress that played the Clark sisters' mother, I think because she has the same skin tone as you, and she did a brilliant job. I believe she could play you.
I'm sure she could. Sure she could.
But they need to do that. Yes, they need to do a life movie and your life is so grand that they may have to do it like New Edition and do 3 nights.
Well, you don't know the man that I met when I did my boyfriend. Now, my boyfriend was from the royal family in Italy.
Okay.
They were the Machetes. There's 2 great families in Italy.
All right. Okay.
But when he took me to meet her, I met Baroness Ketty. But I was scared at that time. Back in my day, you did not go with white men. Black women wasn't allowed to go with white men. Not only that, you definitely couldn't marry. But he took me. He was a good friend of mine, and he loved me dearly, and I took such good care of me. I love him to this day. And he's from the royal family there. I was scared when I went there because I said, there is no royal family. I said, if there is a royal family in Italy, it's the mafia.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah, I said, she was going to kill me. And it was just a silly, it's a silly story, part of my story.
I can see why you see that.
Yes, it was a beautiful part, and he was a beautiful man.
Okay.
And he really cared about me and took such nice care of me, was so respectful of me. And I was always, but he wanted to, when he took me to see his mother, I was just scared.
Gotcha.
As long as it was the two of us, I felt like we can have our little life secretly, and everything's going to be all right. But if I get a family involved in it, I'm going to be in trouble. And that was my fear.
Oh, I understand that. But you've always rested in God's hands.
Oh yes. And he was the sweetest man I have ever met in my life.
My last question. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, he took such good care in protecting me.
Well, I'm glad you was in good hands.
Oh yes, he was very, very, very wonderful to me.
My last question for you is, everything that you've done from music to acting, what motivated you all those years?
One thing, I didn't just become an actress when I did, even in high school. I was known in my high school that there was a play on, and it was going to be a singer. I had a trio with my sister Eva,
Okay.
and her friend Nona, and I. If we wasn't on the show, it wasn't going to be no show.
Okay.
Then, when Miss Naomi, we came from the Yerga High School in Hope, Arkansas.
Okay.
Yerga High School is the first black college built west of the Mississippi River.
Okay.
That's where we was, and one of my teachers was one of the Yergers. It was built by Henry Clay Yerger.
Okay.
And one of my teachers was married to one of the Yergers. He would always put me in a play. If there was going to be a play, we did an old play called Polly Put the Kettle On and We'll All Have Tea. Now, that's the only maid part I ever played in my own school, in my own hometown.
Gotcha.
They played it. We played it. We had to do it 3 times. 3 times at our school. Then the white school asked us if we would come over there and do it for them.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I've been acting all my life.
All your life.
It's just something that I don't know. You do.
You just do.
I just do. When I did Uptight, when that was the first black movie we made, and I had that little part in it, but I wasn't the star. But as they were getting and doing their things, I was so into that thing. By the time it got to the lines I was on, I was so emotional that I was crying and I was saying the lines and I was almost running, and the producer grabbed me and told me, "It's all right. Be all right." I said, what have I done? I thought I had made a mistake.
But you made it count, though.
Oh, I was the only one that got a review in that show.
Really? Because you
always, and that's the LA Times. That's the LA Times. They would always review the white shows.
Okay.
But that was the first black one, and they said, and don't forget old Ketty Lester in Uptight.
Wow.
And I didn't have about 3 lines to say, but I was so emotional. By the time it got to me, I didn't know what I was. I was almost crazy.
Because you were in that movie there. That had a lot of great actors and actresses in that you were in with, from Ruby Dee, Max Julian.
Yes.
Wow.
But they were saying all the big lines. And for some reason, I had marched with the people down in Georgia and stuff like that.
Okay.
And when they were saying those things, I was getting so uptight. And I got so emotional. By the time I got to my line, I was in tears.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know where I just knew. Well, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just emotional. And I was almost saying the lines, but I was carried away.
And you got the review.
And the producer said, come on, it's all right. Everything is all right. And I said, what have I done? What have I done? I didn't even know what I had done. I was just way off somewhere. I don't know where I was.
And gave a great performance.
Yeah. And none of them was mentioned in it but me.
Like I said, you've been resting in God's hands. He's been, I want to thank you for coming on the show and talking with me. You're someone I've wanted to talk to my whole life. You are seriously, you're someone I've been wanting to talk to. And I just thank you for your career, because seeing you allowed me to know I can do what I'm doing with my podcast.
Of course you can.
And so thank you. So thank you
Thank you.
and tell your people to get on that now. We need to get your life story told. We need to get that. We need to get a movie.
All right.
So you make
Well,
sure you go ahead.
I hope they will. It would be good. I think it would make a good movie.
I know it will.
If
I know it will. And you continue to stay blessed and stay safe. And we love you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. God bless you.
God bless you. Have a
Bye-bye.
good evening. Bye-bye.